Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Let us know if we are live. Grump, it feels like forever since I've talked to you. Um, we had a whole holiday in between. No Sunday football. It felt like we had an actual bye week, Grump, even though our bye week is coming up now. I feel like it still doesn't even fully hit me that we're getting ready to play a game. How are you feeling going into this one?
I'm still sick. I'm getting better. But it especially feels like a long time for me because I've been doing nothing but sitting on the couch and slowly dying. Um, so yeah, it does. It feels like this week was our bye week and that like something weird is going on tonight that I have to be ready for. It doesn't feel like a game, and this should be like alarm bells ringing, right? Like this is our first glimpse of Charlie Bullen. This is our first glimpse of Mike Kafka with Jaxson Dart. This is our first glimpse of Dart with Isaiah Hodgins. This is I think you and I both think there's actually a chance the Giants can win this game given the limitations the Patriots have with their injuries. Like we should be amped for this game, and I feel like I'm in the clouds a little bit.
Yeah, it's so I say this now, but I probably will change. It's like I feel like I'm not going to be living and dying with every play in this game. The Giants are literally eliminated from the playoffs, so you can't even like pretend. Can't even joke about being in the hunt with 6 weeks of the NFL season left. Um, and but I'm like, Jaxson Dart. Even if Jaxson Dart has a bad game, like he's done enough good to where I'm not like stressing about that. But I'm like, you know what? As soon as that starts, that's going to go away. But here's the thing: is I'm not like sitting here like, man, I need a win so badly, even though I actually feel like I do. Like I just don't know if I could do another podcast after 7 straight losses. But I actually think the Giants are going to win this game, right? And it's not coming from a homer point of view. Or at least I don't think it is. I think it's like I genuinely think the Giants are going to win this game. Like the Patriots literally have the easiest schedule in the NFL. Now, granted, they beat some good. They beat the Bucks. They beat the Bills, right? So they've beat some good teams, but they legitimately have had the easiest schedule by like a wide margin in the NFL this year. So they're probably overachieving a little bit. But
Well,
that paired
also,
with they're missing their entire left side of their offensive line. I think that for a team that was already a little understaffed talent wise, I think that makes life really difficult on Drake May to not sit here and say we're going to kill Drake May for 3 interceptions, but he may not be able to put up 28 points or whatever it is, and he gets sacked a few times. That I have a feeling that they're going to win this game, and first time of Dart with and the Kafka head coach team. I just have a feeling they're going to win.
well, I also think not to actually take a homer point of view, but I feel like it would be injustice not to point out that they went to Detroit last week and forced it into overtime. They're 1 touchdown losers to Green Bay, 4-point losers to Chicago, 1-point losers to Denver. It's not as bad as things actually are with the Giants when you look at everything organizationally from the very top all the way down to the roster level. That is a mess, but the product on the field has been very close to wins against really, really good teams. And that's been the narrative this whole offseason was that, oh, I don't know how the Giants are really going to do this year. They have a really difficult schedule, especially out the gate. And then all of a sudden it's almost like we forgot all of that. Like the Giants have been hanging around for the most part in all of their games this season. So when they get into this situation where, the Patriots are an up and coming team, they're incredibly, really really good team, really talented, but they also have the same kind of depth issue that the Giants have, where on the surface level roster is good and they're really well coached, but the depth is not really up to par with what it should be around the league. So when you're missing possibly 3 guys from the center, left guard, and left tackle, protecting Drake May, it really can be an absolute disaster. And this kind of game too, where it's like, even if you only get 1 turnover, if that turnover is like a strip sack fumble return for a touchdown, that is a huge momentum swing, a huge difference on the scoreboard that really can propel them to a win. Now, the important thing is not to take too much away from a Giants win if it does happen, because like I said at the beginning, the organizational problems from top to bottom are all still very much there.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it, but it's not like it changes any of my views on anything. Like eventually they're going to have to break this losing streak. It would be nice for it to be against a winning team like the New England Patriots, instead of the Commanders, Vikings, or Raiders, which are the next 3 weeks. But like eventually they're going to have to break this losing streak, and so eventually they're going to have to do that. So want to hit some super chats before we Dart, and on the first day of the 12th month, Jaxson Dart. Actually, no, I'm not even going to read that. I don't like reading that. Makes me uncomfortable, Dario, but I appreciate the support. I'm going to go to the game. Where's Danny King sitting? That's a good, just tweet at him. He should tell you. So go tweet at Danny King. Go follow the Danny King, everyone, at Danny King _.
Oh, man. And if the weather is not what he predicted, strangle him.
Dude, he's going to be key for us in 2 weeks. I already looked at the 14-day forecast, and it's going to be cold in MetLife Stadium. Jacob Ball said, love you guys. Never stop making content. I'll be hanging on every play like I always do. When they're playing, I'm losing my mind rooting for them. Yeah, I said that I won't be, but I just know myself. I will be like that. Unless the game gets out of hand, and then it's like, all right, whatever. Like, subscribe, become a member. Best on YouTube. Thank you, Jacob Ball. So, yeah, like the Patriots are just, they are over exceeding what their expectations were, and it's so reliant on Drake May, where at least he was protected fairly well. Now it's like, all right, he may have his blind side just totally an issue for him. Stephon Diggs has been good for them. Hunter Henry's been, but like they don't have a guy either who they can just like rely on, like especially with Paulson Adebo back, where you don't necessarily have an easy win against man coverage. Maybe Drew Phillips, but if the Giants get a little more zone, like there's a lot of challenges for the Patriots in this game, and the fact that maybe the Giants offense has been solid under Jaxson Dart, averaging I think 23 or 24 points per game. That's certainly enough to get a win against the New England Patriots. So let's talk about the flip side of that, though. Dex probably going to be on some type of a pitch count. Do not practice a couple weeks ago. I could see that. They did that with him in the past. I can't remember if it was 2023. I think it was 2023 where he played like a 3-game stretch where he was totally on a pitch count. The Patriots' run game is bad, and they're missing offensive linemen. But I guess that's where they can, struggle. Is like, all right, that's great that you can do all that stuff against the passer, but they're not dropping back a ton because they're able to find success in the run game. And I would expect the Patriots to understand what their weaknesses are and at least try to establish a run game that stops them from having to drop back a ton. Here's something I'm looking out for. Let me see if I can find it. Did you see that guy for On 3 that said Abdul Carter?
Yes. I was going to ask you about it.
Here, I'm going to find the tweet and then pull it up.
His name is Richie something.
I follow him. It's Richie
O'Leary.
Yeah. He tweets a lot, so I'll have to
He is the only person. It's actually funny. He's the only person running with that, but he's doubling and tripling down on it, with the exception of Wes Steinberg, who said something about missing time for watching porn or something.
So he's obviously jumping on that. Also, now that we're getting off on a tangent, you see that fake Jason Smith count finally just said, hey, I'm fake.
I didn't. Thank God. I was getting really annoyed at like watching people actually get mad and like yelling at him. It's like, dude, you guys are crazy.
So sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm too online. I'm fully invested in this. I see the signs of a fake account where, the normal person shouldn't know those things, right? Like, if you have a regular life, you shouldn't know those things. So I wasn't, but I was also like, dude, he's accusing Shane Bone of smoking crack. Okay. Is that not a giveaway that it's fake? Hold on. I'm scrolling through Richie O'Leary's. I'll see. He did quote friendly reminder. All right. So let me share the screen. I could have just said, but let's give the guy some credit. Hear it from a source that Giants edge Abdul Carter was late to a meeting again and is expected to be benched for a few, just like last game. Now, granted, it wasn't last game; it was the week before. I believe him.
I kind of do too. I mean, it's weird for him.
We'll know quickly too. So
what's that? Well, yeah, we will know soon. But he did double down on it. Like, people are all on his case because he's the only one reporting on it. And he won't give away his source, but he has a source. There's no Rutgers player on the Giants, right? Not a single one. Oh, Jude McAtamey, I guess, right?
No, he's gone.
Okay.
They just released him. Oh, that's something Maximilian Mang, baby. We got a new international pathway program player. That's something we could talk about.
Tell us about Max Mang, other than he's huge.
Dude, he hails from Germany. He played for Syracuse where he had 9 catches. He's a big guy, 6'7", 260. He's a blocking tight end. Was a UDFA for the Colts. Only played a handful of snaps in the preseason. Was the Colts International Pathway Program player. They released him, and the Giants swapped Jude McAtamney for Maximilian Mang, baby. I am part of the Mang gang, and there's Maximilian reasons to live, baby. Just very. I'm glad that the International Pathway Program player is now somebody who could be a fun story and not somebody who actually lost us games like Jude McAtamney. So I'm very happy for that, because I just really didn't need the International Pathway Program being slandered because of missed kicks.
Well,
even though that is like one of the best ways to use it.
I was going to say that's actually the smart use of the program. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
Which happens, but
yeah, they called him on the play and he played and he didn't play well.
The Jordan Mailatos of the world that become starting left tackles are very few.
Yeah, and I don't think he was even an IPP player. So
really, he's from Australia. I thought.
I know, but I don't think he was ever in the actual internet. Like, remember we brought on Roy Mbatika?
Yeah,
he wasn't part of the International Pathway Program. He was actually like on the practice squad.
Oh, okay. He was just he was like Nigerian or something.
Yeah. Pretty sure he was. And then what was I gonna? Oh, so like I believe this thing with Richie O'Leary, which I'm not gonna go to the Giants Nation show count. Like I don't know him well enough to fully run with it and say the Giants are gonna bench Abdul Carter for a drive or whatever. But no. I do believe him, and the reason why I believe him is it's not like these guys think this. It'll either be proven true or proven false the first drive of the game, and we'll all know. So
it's also like he is like a guy, so like he does have a reputation. This isn't like Ricky or something like, you know what I mean?
Which I believe Ricky too, but
yeah, but you know what I mean.
It's not out of nowhere.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. So I do believe him. He's a Heisman voter according to his account too. So
how about that?
So we'll see, and we'll deal with that all week. Abdul Carter, just have a damn game, okay, and let us forget about this crap. Did you see? And maybe if this is true, and we're talking about it on the postgame pod, might flush this out a little more. Have you seen the Cam Newton clip of him talking about Keon Coleman?
No, was he wearing a dumb hat?
Yeah, and he says it in the weirdest way, but he makes a great point in it, right? And it's good to hear that from a former NFL MVP, where he's like, all that cute stuff that you did, and you're fun, and you're, you like the cookies and stuff. That's all cute because we give that grace to young players. But now it's year 2, and you're not performing. And that would be my thing for Abdul Carter. It's like, this is not going to be the worst day of the world. People aren't going to be calling for you to cut. But if you continue to do shit like this, and if you have a half sack, everything's going to be coming for you. Like if he doesn't have a sack in this game, and this is true, even if he pressures the quarterback a lot, it's gonna be, people are gonna be pissed, and he's gonna hear it, right? Because he hears all that stuff. Like it's time to start getting more serious, and we'll talk about it on our mailbag pod on a segment. But like, this is bullshit. You get away with it once, you do it once, fine. Grow from it, but you've let it become an issue 2 weeks later. That's a huge red flag.
Sure, yeah.
So because
the point too is that like it's a mark on you individually in a season where like things are going wrong left and right within the organization, but like now you are one of the data points, specifically you. Like, and it's not about like your stats or whatever. It's that you're not trying, you're not showing up to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd think that like that kind of embarrassment being called out in the media, not at the end of the season when it comes out and you're like, well, I did whatever, but like, you got benched for a series and everyone found out why, and they all knew that people were going to ask why you weren't, and why Tamon Fox is out there and not you to start the game. Like They knew they were going to have to answer for that. So yeah, for it to happen again 2 weeks later is inexcusable, man. Like get to work on time.
So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. Let's do guess the inactives and then look at the chat. I haven't been paying attention to. Did we say 6'7"? Because we've got a lot of comments about that.
I think that was Maximilian Mang's height.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
You're gonna have to say like 6'8" -1 or something.
Yeah, one of my friend's kids is like, "How tall are you?" And I'm like 6'8", and he's let down every time. I was like, "I'm not letting you do this thing to me. I'm just not. Sorry."
So there's only one player declared out. Is that correct?
Kayvon.
Correct. That's what I have. Okay.
And then so you have Russ as the emergency quarterback.
Correct.
That's 3.
Yep.
So I'm going to go Dimukeji, who was questionable.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going to go Demetrius Flannigal-Fowles, who was questionable because
Yep.
Swayze Bozeman got called up. I'm going to go James Hudson.
Yep.
He was a healthy scratch. I'm going to go Bo Braid. Tyler Newton's back. And then I'm going to go Jarek Bernard Converse. Even though Corey Black is on the injury report, I'm just going to say maybe he's healthy. I'm going to go Bernard Converse. Is that what you have?
That's exactly what I have in a different order.
Okay.
I have Kayvon, Hudson, DFF, Wilson, Dimukeji, Bernard Converse, and Braid. Braid, I'm a little unsure about. Bernard Converse, he doesn't even really play that much special teams in comparison to like Rico Payton. So,
and all the corners are healthy outside of maybe Corey Black. So
and I think Corey Black is sort of an emergency corner in case something happens with Paulson Adebo or whatever. So the fact that he's a little banged up, I think they're okay with that.
Vote AT to the Pro Bowl. Yeah.
He should be getting all pro voting anyway, but
that's what I'm worried about. All pro voting. I want to get him all pro. The Pro Bowl would be nice, but I'll be honest, the Pro Bowl is a losing battle. And it's for a couple of reasons. One, the Giants are terrible. And when the Giants are terrible, we are not going to get a groundswell for an offensive tackle. It's just not going to happen. Okay. It's not going to happen naturally. And if you're voting for tackle, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you something. This is where the NFL screws up, where they would do a better service of having some type of pass blocking stats on the screen.
Right.
All right. So let's go to vote for tackle. Oh, there he is. There he is down here. Right. They have 18, 3 rows of 6, and he's the 24th person that shows up. Let's look at wide receiver, though. It goes in order of yards, right? So they should get somebody who's in tune with offensive line play or something to be like, hey, this is the order we're going to put it on the Pro Bowl website. And the voting goes from there. But it's kind of a joke to have Abraham Lucas as the first name up there, and Dan Moore and Kelvin Banks as the first guys, or Walker Little or Morgan. Like it's a joke. It really is a joke that Thomas is not higher up. Even Tristan, maybe Tristan Wirfs has missed too many games, but like it's a joke that those guys aren't. I mean, Ben Barch, seriously, which is weird that the Cowboys guys get put it towards the top there. But so here it changes every time, so it randomizes. So look, I just did it again. Andrew Thomas is the 4th, but it shouldn't be like that. And the reality is that the casual fan is not in tune with offensive line play. So the people who actually do go on there and just don't vote for their players on their team, like I used to do. I used to be a very honorable MLB All-Star Game voter. I would go on, I would do one ballot, and I would do the people that I thought. Okay, so if I thought Adrian Beltre was the third baseman that year, the best in the AL, I voted Adrian Beltre over Alex Rodriguez. If I thought there was a second baseman that was better than Robinson Cano, I voted for him. The reality is people aren't doing that, and when the Giants suck, Andrew Thomas is not going to the Pro Bowl, unfortunately, but I want him to get all pro. That's what I care about at the end of the day anyways. That was a long speech about the Pro Bowl 2 hours before a game.
Did you see Stephon Diggs mini dig at the Giants?
No, I didn't. What did he say? Where did he say
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was a dig, if he's kind of clueless, or if he's just doing player speak. But he was just like, "Oh, we all know that defense is coming for us," or whatever. It's like, what? This is historically bad defense. It was a couple days ago. It was quite.
It kind of felt sarcastic.
What do you think? Do you think it was sarcastic? Do you think he's just being a player? Or
I think he's just being a player. I think he's actually trying to be the because he's never been the just say the bullshit that people say to the media. And so he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say that this defense is great and everybody knows it. On the other hand, Tommy DeVito, which you don't have the video of it, but when you read the full context, it does sound like he casually said yeah, I love my time there, but I hope we blow them out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the headline goes, Tommy DeVito says he hopes to blow out the Giants. And it's like, you piece of shit. After all we've done for you, you come out and you're not going to do anything. You're the third string quarterback. When in reality is that's the case of media not being your friend. Is like they will headline hunt you. So beware.
Beware.
Because it was like the full quote on it is he does say that, but he's basically been like, yeah, I had a lot of time there, but I'm a New England Patriot right now, and I hope we blow them out. Like where if he was a little more media trained answer, like, yeah, but I'm a Patriot now, and I'm focused on helping the Patriots in any way I can to get the win. And instead, it becomes like, you piece of shit, you are nothing. You turned your back.
It's amazing that dude can't do anything right for Giants fans.
At least the Giants fans online.
Yeah.
There's the whole Twitter's not real life thing is sometimes like, I don't know, like if you did a poll of people in the street versus poll of people on Twitter about what they think of Joe Shane or Brian Dable, I think it would be fairly similar.
I agree.
But Tommy DeVito was totally like, there was never or like Saquon Barkley is like another good example, right? Regular people love Saquon Barkley. The people are online team building. It's like, you don't take our running back second overall.
Oh, they decided they hated him before he even put on a uniform. Yeah,
Tommy DeVito is that, where you go to any event, Tommy DeVito is the biggest star there. And then if you like say that on Twitter, like I remember, some of the articles being like, one of the biggest stars on the Giants, Tommy DeVito, people will lose their mind. This piece of shit, he lost us Drake May.
Yeah.
So
is it wild that we didn't really get an official injury report from the Patriots yet? Like a full people are out?
We didn't?
Oh, I guess we did. Oh, they just didn't have practice on Friday, I guess.
Oh, you know what was also funny that we didn't get to talk about? How about Mike Kafka being asked about the Malik Neighbors tweet? He's like, yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And then he's basically like defended what he said in it. And so they're asking him, he's like, yeah, that could be true, but I didn't see it, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I thought that was like the funniest course of action there, where it's like, oh my gosh, dude, like we know you, like it's one thing to just, I had the take of like, I think he should actually condemn this and embarrass Malik a little bit. You don't need to go scorch earth like Wink Martindale did against Xavier McKinney a couple of years ago, where he spent 8 minutes talking about it. But you can condemn it and say, but that's all I'm saying on it. The rest is on the table. I love Malik, and he's a huge important piece for this team, and I hope he gets back healthy. Or he could have done the, hey, yeah, I saw it. We dealt with it in Hunt House. That's his opinion.
Exactly.
We talked. Instead, he just went, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, but you did see it. You defended what he said in it when no one said what he said in it. And he's like, yeah, I just didn't see it. It was very funny. He just kept on answering every question. Like, yeah, I didn't see it, so I can't really say about that. But hypothetically, yeah, guys can have opinions. That's the beauty of the game.
Yeah.
I don't think what Malik Neighbors tweeted is the beauty of the NFL.
I did think it was interesting that Mike Kafka, in only 2 weeks of being an interim head coach, had to field a question about what the president thought of his on-field decision-making.
Yeah, I didn't touch that because I just don't.
No, but it's hilarious that this dude is thrust into an impossible situation. Like any interim head coach always has an uphill battle, because you're never an interim head coach on a team that's winning anything at the time that you're in. And you have to get guys to rally around you. You've got like a short time to do it because you got a game coming up next week. You got to deal with that. You've got the media in your face all the time. And it's just like, what do you think about, the president didn't think you should have went for it there on fourth down? It's like, Jesus Christ, I answered this now? Like,
you should like,
that's
I didn't
really
see it.
Insane. Yeah, that's what he should have said. I didn't see it. He's entitled to an opinion.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get to some of the chat. What beer should I grab for tonight's game? A Coors Light would sound tasty.
Probably one that won't make you sharp.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get this. What's your thoughts on the intern defensive coordinator? Dex says some nice things about him and has expressed excitement tweeting about it today. Oh, Dex tweeted today?
Dex also, seemed a little bit upset that Bowen left.
Did you see the clip?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at my my Twitter, so I can't Dex sent a tweet about it. It was unbelievable. They're like, what do you think about Shane Bowen getting fired? And he's like, yeah, it happens. It's sometimes, I just don't like it. You're just like, oh my gosh, dude, you haven't smiled since week 4.
Mhm.
Just
And also, it's like you weren't prepared for this question, bro. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
oh, let me see how many views that tweet got, because that was unbelievable. It got 800,000 views of him just smiling, like giggling. His team is so fucking funny right now. Tuto, massive salutes and respect to Big Bobby and Lil Grumpy and all diehard Giants fans across the pond. Greetings from our entire rugby club currently in France. Kill it, Tuto. Kill it. Theo has to have a good game tonight. I would like to see Theo build on again, don't drop the ball, build on it, right? Because it's kind of classic up and down player, right? Where first 5 games of the year, I think a lot of people would have said that Theo Johnson, or say first 4 games, Theo Johnson needs to be benched for Daniel Ballinger, right? That was a big talking point for a lot of people.
You just said Tim Coffey.
Well, no, I think a lot of people would, if you put out a poll, right? Which it might be an emotional reaction. And now it's like, man, see, this guy is finally becoming that star tight end. So he's had 3 good games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Can continue the build on it. Let's see some consistency, because I have Theo Johnson stock, and I want to cash some of that stock in. So continue to build on it.
I want to see some more like yak out of Theo. I mean, we have seen it here and there. The touchdown, was that against the Lions, or was it the week before?
You're talking about the Broncos one where he had the run and score?
No, the one, it was only like a week or 2 ago. It was along the sideline. He like broke a tackle and shouldered into somebody and then ran.
Oh, I think that was the Bears game.
Yeah, that was the Bears game.
No, was it?
Doesn't matter. You know the play I'm talking about.
I think it was the Bears game, but yeah.
I want to see more stuff like that. He's been really clutch on 3rd down, but I want to see some yak out of him too, because I know he has that ability in him.
Yeah. Bobby, please sign me up on the gym. No more money, Tuto. No more money. If you want to leave a comment, we'll read it, but no more money. And I promise there won't be any QB lines or ball carriers walking off the defensive pitch on their own powers, mate. Hit them. We need you at defensive tackle, Tuto. We need you.
Yeah, really. Where have you been all year?
Abdul Carter will have a big game tonight with KT out and Will Campbell out. Obviously, I'd rather the Giants just win and beat up on a backup left tackle. But if there's one thing I was investing in this game, it's like I want to see Abdul Carter versus Will Campbell. I was even going to do a matchup breakdown video on it, and they just like, nope, Will Campbell's out for the season. So that ruined that. Let's talk about this. Jordan put out a story about the running and stuff. And he said one of the offensive players basically said, like, I wouldn't expect any Dart design runs in the game plan. I guess I'm okay with that in his first game back. I also think that might be the plan. And then you get to a big 3rd and 1, and it's like, hey, let's call it up. But I don't think that's something that going forward they're just not going to be calling design runs for Jaxson Dart.
I just think it's silly. It takes away one of the things that he's very good at. I get it, believe me, but also, I'll bet you money he'll have another concussion in his career. It's going to happen. So like you can't coach football away from football players. So personally, I hope that Mike Kafka calls like 1 million designed runs tonight just to make everyone go crazy.
No, I don't want that. I don't want the curve, but I'm not like anti-design run with him. It is
it's just time and place. And there were times in which Brian Daboll was doing it where the game was kind of out of reach or was just in a situation where it's like, you have no other play that's going to work here.
Yeah.
Like it's always Jaxson Dart carrying the ball and like QB power. I get that. I do. But then, Ryan Dunleavy did an interview with Pix 11 where he was saying about how things are different now because, in the beginning, the implication was that Brian Daboll really likes it. And now he's got teammates. And was like, that's just not true. There's video evidence of Brian Daboll telling Jaxson Dart to slide in preseason. There's Tommy DeVito, who didn't even make the 53-man roster. So you're going back to summer. Him at a post-game press conference talking about how he told Jaxson Dart he's got to slide. So this is like there's nothing new or different other than he got a concussion on a play and they're being serious about it now. It's silly because it almost feels like they're pinning absolutely everything 100% on Brian Daboll. And, I just don't fully agree with all of that.
Yeah, I'm excited to retire this conversation with no new evidence to talk about because it's been essentially almost a month.
Yeah.
But we've said this multiple times. There was no game where Dart was more responsible running than the Chicago Bears game, right? They didn't call any unnecessary design QB runs, and he slid every opportunity he got, and he didn't get hurt on a big hit. He got hurt because he fumbled, and he didn't brace himself for impact trying to get the fumble, and he bounced his head off the icy Chicago tundra. Let's see. What do we got? We're at 30 minutes. We'll go a couple more minutes here.
We have so much time till they announce inactives, don't we?
Yeah. So we're not going to hit it on this show. This show. So, let's see. Oh,
I do not think Lane Kiffin is coming to coach the New York Giants.
Yeah. Can we finish off on that? Because it is a pregame show, and we don't have to sit here and talk about Giants schematics. I think that was the closest to sports, like media and coverage being back to what it was like in the early 2000s, 90s, where it's just like, hey, we are on watch. We've got reporters. We've got fan bases reacting emotionally to it. We've got money, it felt like early 2000s, 90s. Like it was a nostalgic moment. We're like, this is something I would have been locked into 15 years ago, and I was totally locked into it. I was checking for Lane Kiffin updates. I was watching the full Marty Smith interview on ESPN. I was actually, and I'm not a huge college football fan, I was locked into the Lane Kiffin thing.
Well, it's so dramatic. I mean, I assume that you're saying this like subtracting the manufactured drama of sports with like LeBron James scheduling an ESPN segment to announce where he's going to take his talents to, whereas this was somewhat more organic. There is that rift that's at the divide that started to happen between Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, and it's really weird, right? Like for this to happen right now, and I guess Ole Miss is a playoff a natty contender, right?
I mean, they're 11-1 in the SEC. I know they didn't play all the top teams, but like they got a chance.
So I saw somebody saying that the committee should re-rank them given that they will not have their coach, essentially.
This is why they went to this, and I'm going to go on a rant. This is why we went to 12 teams, so we don't have to make these stupid decisions. Because guess what? There's going to be like 3 teams you put in there where you're like, hey, we kind of know that they are at a severe disadvantage, but it's unfair. This is why we went to 12 teams, not to just make those same tough decisions from 10 through 12. It's to make the 10 through 12 being like, hey, you know what? A non-Power 4 school gets in. The best one, you get in no matter what. Every conference champion, you get in no matter what. FSU, if you're undefeated but your quarterback gets injured, guess what? You're still in no matter what. That's why they went to 12 teams. And so we're not dealing with these stupid decisions because guess what? 12 teams don't really deserve to be in the national championship hunt, but we don't want anyone to say that they won all their games or all but one of their games and they didn't get an opportunity. That's what it was made for. I hate that there's any conversation about like Ole Miss not being in or what's it, Tulane that might not be in. Like, even though I think Tulane is kind of locked in if they win next week, but.
No, I agree with you. I mean, and the real reason they went to 12 teams is because they could get more games out of it, which meant more money. But from the fan perspective, the justification for going to 12 games, you're 100% correct, was, you're not going to feel bad for a 13th team not getting in, but for a 9th team or, a 5th team not getting in, yeah, you're going to feel a little bit bad because there are some questions there.
Like all those SEC teams crying last year, and I'm an SEC guy. All those SEC teams crying last year, they didn't get in. Cry me a river. Sorry, you should have won more games.
Yeah.
So, we can go. This was I think this was one of our best pregame lives because we just, like I said, it feels like I hadn't talked to you in forever, and so much has happened in between that we just like, hey, remember this funny thing happened where Mike Kafka was lying, and
there was so much time in between the last time, like we talked in the game day preview. Normally, all this shit's crammed in Sunday morning, and
it truly felt like a bye week. Which it's like next week is actually the bye week, even though I've scheduled too much work over the bye week. So I'm like, it's too. So there's a very big video that's coming out this week, and then midseason mock draft week after that. I was thinking maybe having you do the final pick, like guest picker for the final pick for the for the midseason mock. Like, all right, Grump, I'm handing this off to my assistant GM for the final pick.
You're doing like a full 7 rounds?
Yeah.
Insanity. Okay.
I know. The insane part of that one is once you get to that day 3, because you don't have knowledge of these players, you're basically just looking at who's available and then going and watching some of them. And it's like, all right, is this person worth watching for an hour and a half and getting a little mini write-up on? Or is this trash? Is like most of them are trash. And you're like, I don't want to pick this trash. And you're left there. Also, is the rankings are totally screwed up on the draft simulators. Like I remember one year I got Christian Gonzalez in the 3rd round and like Trey McBride in the 5th round. And I didn't have any idea who these guys were. They were just available on the simulators. And I went and watched them like, hey, this guy's freaking sick. I'm going to take
Trey McBride. Wasn't he picked in like the 2nd round?
Yeah. Like J.C. Horn, I remember the first time I did a midseason mock draft, I took J.C. Horn with the 2nd round pick. He went insane. Top 10,
Yeah.
So, all right. We'll see you guys after the game. We'll probably go live about 30 to 45 minutes after the game or whatever because it is a night game. So we'll see you then. Until then, let's go Big Blue.